And what's up, everybody? We're back to another episode of
You Had Us at Damn.
How you been, boy?
I've been good, bro. I've been good. Was that, do we start now or are we recording?
Yeah, no, it's rolling. It seems like this man doesn't really understand the concept of a cold open, but it's cool. How you guys been, though? I miss you back home. We love you. Sorry, by the way, mix up, a lot of stuff. Hard drives died, painful, but we're back for you. We're never gonna let you down, okay? Rick actually released a new song, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, today's topic of conversation. Why don't you tell us, bro?
Okay, guys, this is one of those serious episodes that we kind of have, but we want to take our own spin on and just have a little bit of fun with, which is basically BRICS. It's something that we've been pushed by a lot of you guys to talk about, and
Wait, who's pushing this?
a lot of the fans, a lot of viewers of
What
the whole
agendas
thing.
do you guys have?
Yeah, Jody's out here being like, yeah, you guys should actually do that. And yeah, it was like a back and forth. There's like a lot of people like, dude, why don't you talk about BRICS? Why don't you talk about BRICS? I was like, and I was forcing you for it. And I was like, let's do it. And you're like, nah, bro, I'm sorry.
I don't want to touch this attention, bro. Saudi's involved, bro. I don't want to get murdered, bro.
That is a good point. Good point.
But yeah, so BRICS, for those who don't know, a consortium of countries that are developing, right? We're going to talk about the main BRICS, and then we'll talk about the new up-and-coming BRICS countries. But at the moment, the main are, as the acronym stands, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Oh, hey, that's me. Yeah, we're a part of BRICS Standard. It's collection of countries that have a mutual goal in developing each other and cooperating within each other as well. It's fairly interesting, fairly useful as a block, especially when it started, because we all had very similar economies and stuff like that. And
back at the time,
back in the day,
but it was like, how can I say, when they started in high school, and then they just got that. Then for some, between the start and now, they got that uni glow up.
Yeah,
which made China.
Like China went to go study actuarial science.
Bro.
South Africans go study art.
South Africa went to go study art. Who else? India started hitting the gym.
Yo, a lot.
Hitting the gym. What else? And
Brazil went to political science, and they've been struggling ever since. But they finally graduated.
Russia got a skincare routine and started getting into fashion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fashion or fascism.
And then SA kind of, I don't know, SA was troubled by their past, really, with like this side thing called like apartheid, you know? And yeah, it just kind of stayed where they were at, kind of. Haven't been that progressive. But, you know, guys, we've grown in other places, I guess.
So why does BRICS matter, bro?
I think it definitely matters because of how I wouldn't say how unified, how it's like, a collective gathering of like the countries, basically.
Okay.
Them all being in one space, them all exchanging of ideas, actually.
That is an interesting take. So like exchanging ideas, bro. We have China and India, two very diametrically opposed countries. They hate each other notoriously.
Straight up.
Like not even a little bit, right? But we have a huge Indian population here, so you'd think it'd be on India's side, but no. We have a large Chinese population here as well. So hey, we're again in the middle.
We're really financially invested.
Yeah, we're invested in both. As in both of their interests affect us. But the point is, yeah, we have two countries that fundamentally hate each other. We have Russia. Ugh. Hey. That's another landmine type thing happening there.
Yeah, we don't talk about.
Get it, landmine, because
don't
war.
Do that. Don't.
I'm joking. I don't mean to joke about war though. It's actually kind of tragic. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into any of that. But there's a lot. Okay, this is my 9/11 joke. This is my okay. Fine. Laugh it up. But yeah, so we got ideologies in these countries where a lot of them aren't democratic.
A lot of them aren't.
And we are democratic. So it's like exchanging of ideas. What ideas? I believe my people should be able to vote.
I wouldn't say like, I don't know, political ideas for per se. I think they exchange a lot of, I don't know, economic ideas, or at least they can be a nice forum, especially for us as South Africans, because all the South African or the smaller nations that are like contributing with that, getting a seat at the table to these bigger, I don't know, countries and their invested interest like, I don't know, for me it gives me a lot of optimism, like that we're being taken seriously of as a country, you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Not just being South Africa being the point of reference for anything Africa related. It's like, that's the go-to, but rather being like, okay, let's hear what President Ramaphosa has to say, and that brings me a lot of pride.
Yeah, no, it's like, I may not like Ramaphosa, but it is a lot to... I'm not saying I dislike him, I'm just like, there hasn't been a South African president that I really liked in my lifetime. Mandela's before my lifetime, so I can't
I was about to
speak.
say, I was like, bro,
Mandela, like, since I gained consciousness, Mbeki was before I gained consciousness as well, so like, I've only seen Zuma and Ramaphosa.
yeah,
Don't really...
Mutlanthe.
Did I see Mutlanthe? I don't even remember Mutlante's presidency.
Okay, nah,
right?
it was deputy for some.
Yeah, but again, I wasn't really conscious for those times. So, like, for the presidencies I've seen, none of them have particularly impressed me. I understand Ramaphosa was coming in from a very difficult situation of trying to fix shit, but we don't know what happened at the farm.
Yeah,
We know what
I
happened.
think moving on to, like, I don't know, the things that I like about BRICS is kind of, I don't know what the word is to say, de-reliance, but like, you know, against the Western.
So, reducing our reliance on the Western world,
That's
right?
exactly right there.
That's a problem though, because like some of our biggest trading partners, like, is like the US for a lot of stuff, right? A lot of our exports goes there. So I think South Africa is the most interesting country in BRICS because we are kind of in between the Western and non-Western world.
I think because everybody's our pimp. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Feels like, okay, China is much outpimped than Russia and the States. So it's like, yo, how do we, like, if there's a divorce, who do we go to? Who do you think we'd go to?
Honestly, I think it would depend on who's in the presidency.
Yeah.
And who, you know, the people. I think this wouldn't be an issue where it can be decided by a government. I think this would need to be definitely put into a vote, like, of where South Africa falls. I'd be very interested in hearing your guys' perspectives on this because I don't know, like, where do you guys want us to fall? Would you like us to lean Western, lean non-Western? I have a big problem with capitalism in general. You know this. I am...
Like, what's wrong with that? Like,
whatever. But back to the topic of BRICS,
coming
right?
from the advocate of huge amounts of capitalism.
You see, we have a staunch one here, right? Back to the topic of BRICS, right? We're going to need to discuss... So there's been a summit that happened from the 22nd to 24th of August. That's fairly recent at the time of recording, where a lot of these countries came together and there were some goals to discuss, right? The two main objectives: introduction of new members, right, into BRICS. It's now BRICS Plus, right? Like Apple TV.
Or does that sound like, you know, the DSTV premium?
Exactly.
You know,
We've got new channels now.
Yeah, new channels.
So yeah, we got BRICS Plus. So the new countries are Argentina, Saudi Arabia,
UAE,
Egypt. There's 6 new countries, so we're missing 2 more. You have it. You have the iPad. That's the goal.
Oh no, this has other stuff on it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm checking my emails right now.
Oh my gosh, okay. See, he said he wanted to be man at the iPad today.
Yeah,
but
tell them.
Yeah, so there's new members that joined into the country, which joined into the consortium, which is huge. I like that a lot because that gives us a lot more weight as a bloc in the global stage, right? I think like 48% of the global population or something like that is within BRICS.
Oh, population probably.
Yeah, like
because
people.
you got China and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of global GDP, I could be wrong about this, but I think we're up 33% with the new additions.
That is massive.
That is huge.
That is massive.
Of the GDP in the global scale.
Yeah, and their second objective was, you know, the financing of the new development bank or the BRICS Bank, right? There was initial offering of like, you know, shares and stuff like that. Basically, like funding of like $50 billion to be used within the countries for our own purposes instead of needing to go to the Western organizations in order for financing and stuff like that, right? Massive potential for that. Problem though, there's kinda a huge difference in the countries we have here.
Bro.
Right, cool. Like some of the countries we have are really poor, some of them are really wealthy, some of them too fucking wealthy, right? I
That
mean,
is true.
we
That
have
is true.
countries like Saudi Arabia, which have
833 billion USD.
a lot more money than they know what to do with,
Straight up.
right? Which is massive for us because that's a lot of liquid cash we could potentially use.
Right.
But then it's also like we have countries as well that are very poor, that are going to be borrowing a lot, right? I think there's an interesting topic that we could talk about what exactly BRICS, who gains from BRICS, right?
Right.
Like who rather, with BRICS rising, who gets the short end of the stick, right? Who do you think that is?
I would say mostly the little guys. In my opinion, I honestly think so. As in us, I think Argentina's also on the lower end of things. And also, I think Ethiopia's a new one that we didn't speak about. I think us being behind means that as much as everyone has equal vote, it's not really that even as a result.
It's not equal vote. We, the main five,
Yeah.
have majority. Majority power.
Yeah, but still, as an economic power, we don't. As much as we have as equal vote in that table, we don't have our own like kind of standstill because we don't have that level of power.
So you're saying that because there's
Economic disparity.
yeah economic disparity. So like, for example, if China wanted to do something, we don't really have the ground to fight against it.
pretty much.
I
Or
guess.
we have to be like, it's like that whole thing of being around, like, it's like if you're with a discussion with like your principal and all of that stuff in like high school, it's like, why don't we do this? Even though you're both in a different situation, you can still know, yo, that's my principal still.
Yeah.
That's my, as much as, it's like when your parents ask you, what do you think?
Oh,
And it's
after
like-
they said, I think we should do this. What do you think? You know, you can't like after they said, I think we should do this. There's not really much you can say. But I think the benefit then is that we have a lot of other countries involved.
Yeah.
Like Russia, China, India, right? If any one nation wants to do something, we do have counterbalances of stronger nations and weaker nations that can be like, I don't know. We might not necessarily agree with this, right?
Yeah.
But like,
One thing I like is that because, as much, I don't know if this is gonna go against us or for us, but like because there's multiple different powerhouses, but which have different directions, it's not like all the powerhouses are going one way while we're, as the little guys, have to follow that way. You know what I'm saying?
but it kind of is in the ideological sense though.
Yeah.
Like the majority of the countries are against what we stand for.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right, like, let's be honest, right? China had a very big rise, but it's the global factory, and it only became the global factory because labor regulations aren't that strong, right? There's a reason the Chinese sweatshop is a well-known thing out there, right? Like, it's sad, right? A lot of people work that, but then they had a lot of benefit to their economy because of that, because
Yeah.
now the world is basically reliant on them for production, right?
Pretty much.
Which is massive. India is currently experiencing the same kind of growth as well. A lot of things now are made in India, which is fantastic for their economy, right? But their people, that's debatable. But what do you think? Because there's been a lot of talk of this BRICS currency.
Yo, I think the thing is if I say my point, it has been really much influenced by your stance with it, and it makes a lot of sense. My thing is that, isn't it a trade currency, so it doesn't truly really affect us as South Africans? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It does, in a way. Like, it can, depending on how strong or weak it would be.
Yeah.
By the way, my stance is that this is not happening in our lifetime. Like,
Basically.
the problem with I'll get to it, but it's not happening within our lifetime. But the thing that would affect is that it would make it maybe cheaper to like buy things from other countries, because we wouldn't need to be focusing so much on purchasing the dollar in order to buy things. We would be able to be like, oh no, we already have, let's use this, right?
So it's like, okay, just to put it in just a metaphor, an anecdote, it's like having a market day, but instead of now, in market day, you actually have to go to the stall. You have to go to the store to actually to pay for those tickets, those funny tickets, so they can transfer, and you can buy whatever, or go to those the fun machines and all of that stuff. Now you're just going to the store to buy easily.
Or like you're the one making the tickets now.
basically.
right? You're not really a part. You're not really buying someone else's. You're there when the tickets are being made.
So my thing is that I think it's a dope concept, but I don't know the implementation of it, how long it's gonna take, what are the nitty-gritties behind it. But in itself, as an idea, it sounds kind of dope.
Yeah.
On an outside perspective, not looking into the like economic implications and all of that, but you know,
Yeah,
it sounds exciting.
It sounds cool, and the reliance on the dollar is too strong. The dollar is too strong. Like, America can't fail as it stands right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, because the dollar is the global trading platform, like, even if they can always just print more, which is sad for the rest of us, right? Because like they print more, everyone else suffers for it, right? But they stay roughly the same. What happens to us though is that we deal with their consequences. But now if there's another block there, right, like another trading thing there, that is massive now, because maybe the dollar isn't so strong anymore. Maybe America needs to actually start paying attention to what
they're doing,
right? Maybe America thinks twice before implementing sanctions, which is another reason why BRICS is there, is because Western sanctions are kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, if we think about the chip sanctions that were implemented on China and Huawei and stuff like that, right? Like, they just cut them off entirely from the global supply. Like, they just like,
they were like,
nope.
Nah,
like, you guys can't access this technology.
You guys are doing way too well. Cut that.
That is massive. And no one country should be able to do that, in my opinion. Right?
Oh.
So I think that is one factor. So like, with then another block existing out there where we can trade together, you know, as like something to trade for, that makes the US a lot more scared, because what if someone does that to them now? Like, right?
And then having that level of fear,
especially with Saudi Arabia being involved,
bro.
Because now it's like, what if we are like all of a sudden no more oil for you? What happens? I guess like the US does consume a lot of its own oil that it makes. It makes like a lot of it, right? But that still will hurt, especially the reserves, right? They're like, no, we don't want to trade with you.
Damn,
right?
I always like talking smart with you. It makes me feel more intelligent.
Oh, fuck, bro. I think I'm a dumbass. I would never claim to know anything. But yeah, so the reason why I say it's never going to happen in our lifetime is because, like, for example, with something like the EU, the reason why that works is because a lot of these countries that are in it have very similar economic backgrounds, right? Like, they're roughly on equal terms. And that means that, you know, they're also like similar levels of debt and stuff like that, right? Like, roughly equal. So that means that those countries, they can trade fairly well, right? They know like
how each other works.
Exactly. If everything is roughly equal, then it doesn't matter. That's why it's easier to transition to like one type of currency, right? Whereas in BRICS, we have huge disparities between the countries, right? That's just fundamentally never gonna work in our lifetime, right? There's also like some countries are net borrowers, some are net lenders, so it's like there's a lot, right? I just think that if it does happen, that would be fantastic. But
I'm just happy that we hosted it as South Africans. That was really cool. That was a pride point for me that the whole world was watching.
I mean, we almost went into war with Russia.
That's also true, but hey, man.
Because, you know, there's the whole thing where we had to arrest Putin if he did come, but then Putin threatened nuclear war. So it was like,
it was like, really?
All right, there's nothing we can do there.
Anyways,
so,
I don't know. So BRICS, is it a yeah or nay? Like,
as a concept, yeah. The implementation will depend on whether it's nay or not, right? But like currently as a concept, I would like to see where it can go, you know?
Yeah, same.
But yeah, what do you guys think though? Because like, this is, I don't know, man. Frankly, if you think I was speaking out my ass, hit me up. You know, I know a lot of economists out there. Y'all probably know a lot better than us. Send through some voice notes or something. We'll shut them out in the next, you know.
Hey, bro, any form for competition and also a gathering of people to collaborating in terms of the big countries within BRICS and all of that, and that growing, I'm for that completely. So no matter how big and the economic disparities of such, I'm still happy that as countries, even the lesser ones and the bigger ones, were able to be on the same platform, on the same space.
Yeah.
So that's my point about it. I don't know about the implementation, because I don't know. I haven't heard BRICS being relatively effective as of late, but
because like nothing has really happened yet. All that really happened was the development of the NDP, right? The New Development Bank, or the BRICS Bank. But that was all that really happened. Not much. The BRICS currency thing was just talks. And
that was an idea.
Yeah, the West made it seem like it's happening now. Like, no, it's not. This is far out. This It's not even.
So the West was just like, hey, my brother, you are shaking.
Exactly.
You are shaking. Nah, guys. Anyways, share your thoughts. Yeah, this was a nice BRICS episode.
Right, you me again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been another episode of
You had a
Had a
sad
Sad
damn.
Damn.